Hi, how are you? Great to have you. Welcome back, Rush Limbaugh, the EIB Network. I want to go back to something that I've said repeatedly in the past few months, but I think Obama's press conference yesterday adds some weight to this. My belief is that the details, the minutia of any of this do not interest Obama. I don't think he really cares. I don't think he cares if people are going to have trouble signing up. I don't think he cares what it's going to end up costing anybody. That's not what this is about. Oh, he'll act like it, but one of the reasons why, I mean, let's be honest. I don't know how many of you have, I would assume almost all of you have real world business experience to one degree or another. And in every circumstance, let's take Obama at his word, and let's say that this is the thing that he really loves. I mean, that's the impression he's given. This is his signature deal. This is what he's really wanted. This universal single-payer health care. This is what he's really wanted. The Democrat Party has wanted it forever, for 50 years, but he's the guy that really wanted it. Now, in a circumstance like that, when you have the president or the CEO, whatever the top dog is called, that person's passion for it lights the fires under everybody else to make it happen. This is how Steve Jobs or any successful CEO, a CEO cannot have hands-on on every project that is going on in a business. But the one thing at the moment, at the time, that matters most to that CEO, everybody knows about it. Everybody working there wants to impress the boss. Everybody working there knows how. You add the liberal political aspect of this, the true believer, big government's the solution to everything aspect of this, and there's no reason why this should have happened except one thing. And that is, these people are genuinely incompetent. They haven't the slightest idea what they're doing. They don't know what to do. And their arrogance and their condescending view of people outside of government makes they're only going to hire people to work for other governments. They're not going to go out and get, they'll use private sector people as props, bring them in for photo ops, Buffett in now and then whenever you need him, get a photo op, having lunch with Steve Jobs or what, but that's as far as it goes. Now, the fact that this thing is an utter disaster is evidence. Obama doesn't care about this beyond the day it was signed into law, because the only thing that matters about this to Obama is that one day the government's going to be in charge of everybody's health care. And whatever happens between now and then is simply what has to happen. Good or bad, that's the price. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care about individuals and their problems with insurance, availability, cost, actual treatment. Doesn't care. Doesn't matter. Not what this is about. All that is nothing more than salesmanship. That's nothing more than a photo op itself, like yesterday. All that is, you go out and act like you're Billy Mays or whoever the latest Ron Popeil is with the Ginsu knife, and you go sell it, and you ratchet it up, and then you make sure everybody understands that you're upset with it too, which continues to just amaze me. That he gets away with this Limbaugh theory, that he gets away with this. It's his plan. And the fact that it is bollocksed up like this can be traced right back to him. Because I'm telling you, whoever is the leader of people in a group, be it a business, any organization, once that leader comes up with something, and if there are true believers in that organization, and there are throughout this regime, they are all true believers. They're true believers blinded by reality. They haven't the slightest idea what they're doing, but they believe that only they are equipped to do this, that only they care enough, that only they are compassionate enough, that only they are the ones that can make this work. They're the only ones. And the fact that this thing had 3 years and is an utter disaster goes right to the top and shows absent leadership. Now, when I say that Obama doesn't care, I don't want you to misunderstand me. It's not that he doesn't care whether it works or not. He's not worried about it not working. He's not worried about it being repealed. He's not worried about it being defunded or delayed. He got it signed into law. He signed it. His signature's on it. It's going to happen. The Supreme Court's backed him up. Whatever goes on between now and that magic day of single payer, he doesn't care about. There are going to be times he has to go out and act like he does. Yesterday was one of those. But he doesn't care. The irony of this is that this guy's supporters think he cares more about them than anybody ever has. And the people that voted for him, ditto. But you know as well as I do, if you are a CEO or if you're a general manager, if you're a leader of a group and you have true believers, people that love you and want to look good to you, want to impress you, and also want you to succeed because they go along with you, they're going to bust their rear ends to get what you want done. The fact that that didn't happen here is a testament to so many things. A, you've got nothing but glaring incompetence. People are just incapable of doing this. And there's no evidence anywhere that the people involved know how to do this. Kathleen Sebelius doesn't know how to do this. She doesn't know how to do one thing that she's doing. Not one. Neither does Obama. They didn't. I bet you they didn't know they had a problem until it went live. They think magic happens because they did it. They might have been aware that it was going to glitches. I don't know. But I think they're so incompetent that I believe they love themselves so much. They have such a vaunted self-image and self-view of themselves that whatever they touch is going to turn to gold. Now, our old buddy, let me see if I can find this, Jim Pethokoukis. I got to figure out what stack I put this in. I wish I could remember it. I wouldn't have to look it up. Jim Pethokoukis. We interviewed him, by the way, for the Limbaugh letter, the upcoming next issue of the Limbaugh letter. And he had a great observation about what Sebelius said last week when these problems erupted. And I don't know what stack I put it in. It was when she said, let me see if I can paraphrase it. She said, I got hold of the IT team and I told them to double down and give us 150% effort to fix this. And his point was, who in the world, here it is, who in the world talks that way? In other words, in fact, his exact quote, how people who've never run anything talk. And he quotes Sebelius, I called on the contractor to get its A-team here and give us 150%. And he says, Democrats speak this way. Obama speaks this way. Sometimes it's due to the fact they haven't run anything. Sometimes it's because they know the audience has never run anything. It's the difference between a young, wild-eyed Buffalo Bills fan saying, we're going to beat the 49ers by 30, and Vegas odds makers favoring the 49ers by 13. That's one way of looking at it. But they don't know what they're doing, folks. There's not one of them that does. I use Steve Jobs as an example. Apple at one time had this internet services division called Mobile Me. It was the forerunner to what they now call iCloud. I was a customer. And what it was basically, it was many things. It was a sync service for all of your contacts, calendars, email addresses, and account settings that would keep them synced from device to device to computer. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It mostly never reached its full potential. One day, Jobs called a whole team in, and they think they're in there to get some praise and a couple of attaboys. And Jobs says, can somebody in this room tell me what mobile me is supposed to do? And one of these bright-eyed team members raises his hand, and Jobs calls on him. And the guy spells out exactly what it's supposed to do. And Jobs says, can you tell me why the hell it doesn't do any of that? And he let everybody go. He disbanded the team. And it was working 150% better than what this is. Those of you, again, who have led groups of people who know they're working on your baby. This is your deal. This is your life. This is what you want more than anything in the world right now. And I'm talking about people loyal to you. Not everybody is, but the people that are loyal to you want you to look good. They want to look good in your eyes. They want you to succeed because they will go with you as that happens. They might also make a name for themselves. It's an all-in for a great potential positive outcome. Everybody is humping to please. They're just working overtime, whatever it takes. And that's how greatness happens. And that's hard work and people just busting their butts with passion on things that could not have been present here. Or this wouldn't have happened. If all of that was present, if there was everything I just described, then the only explanation is glaring incompetence, which is entirely possible and is probably the real cause. There just isn't anybody. They are the equivalent of people in the faculty lounge at Harvard sitting around theorizing on how the private sector screws up and cheats everybody and lies to everybody and rips everybody off. And if they ran the show, this would be better. And they find they're running the show and they don't know what they're doing. There's nobody in this regime's got any private sector experience because they hate the private sector. They despise it. They think it's the problem. Just like the United States is the problem in the world, the private sector is the problem in the U.S. economy. The private sector is the root of inequality. The private sector is the root of unfairness and racism and sexism and inequality and income. It's where all the bad stuff is the private sector. So why would you get anybody from there? You know better anyway, because you have a bigger heart. You have more compassion. And the private sector would never try to give insurance to everybody. And the private sector would never try to make it affordable. And the private sector, they don't do anything but kill their customers anyway. We're better people. They don't know what they're doing. But don't you find it strange that after 3 years of this, you can't find one person, not one person who apparently cared enough about this to make Obama look good? Not one person. One person wanting to make Obama look might have, but that's not even possible either because bureaucracies just split things up into so many different groups. It's not possible to achieve what they're trying to accomplish here. Now let me, ladies and gentlemen, offer a counter theory to my just explained flawless theory, because there is another possibility. Do you remember in the debates when Romney said to Obama, why do you always pick losers? And he was talking about Obama's green tech choices like Solyndra, all of the wind and solar energy companies that Obama chose to give money to that went belly up. And they all did. They all went belly up. And Obama, as a side note, ended up getting some of that money back because those people then became donors. They all got rich, but the companies went belly up. And Romney was talking about Obama's green tech choices. But you know it's true about everything Obama does. Now, with incompetence, this is just a counter theory, a contravailing theory. With incompetence, every now and then you would get something right. But Obama never does. No, I'm not talking about legislation. I'm talking about when Obama attempts to take over something in the private sector on the theory that he knows better or that he's in touch with the future and he's going to move us forward, everything he picks goes belly up. Obama, Sebelius, Pelosi, Reid, they have all talked about their desire to go to a single-payer system. And I'm telling you, that's where Obama is confident this is going to end up. That's why he doesn't care about any of this minutia. It is why he doesn't give a darn about it, because he knows where it's going to end up. And what if that, as I've even said so myself on previous programs, is not the plan? Now that the government is legally in charge of health care, what's so bad about it screwing up so bad, so much, that people demand it be simplified? And what would simplify it? Get rid of these insurance companies, for God's sakes. That's where all the confusion is. You got this company here and that policy there and this deductible over here and what? Just get rid of that. Just the government do it. What if that's what's going on? Could very well be, because you know they all want single payer. And Obama has told his union buddies it's going to take 5, 10, maybe 15 years to get there. That the American people wouldn't accept it if it were just legislated on them. But if they end up demanding it out of a mess like this, that's what they're gunning for.